Well, everybody, West McDonald here, and welcome to another Flat Rate World Live. And I'm here with my good buddy, Kenneth Edmonds. How are you, Ken?
I am fine. I am betting though that you wish you were sitting on a beach like I am.
Yeah,
Well, it's not really on a beach, but I know you've had a little bit of snow lately.
yeah, we have, and I really wish I was. And in particular, as most people know, and I think a lot of folks that usually watch us are actually in Scottsdale, Arizona right now, enjoying that beautiful weather. And I was supposed to be there, but thanks COVID, thanks borders, because of that, I simply couldn't make it happen, right? And of course, it's for the biggest snowstorm, Ken, that we've had in years. So we had our first blizzard warning since I've been out here at the lake and spent 2 days shoveling out. So yeah, I wish I was on one of the cruises that you're going on. I know you got another one coming up. So one can but dream.
Yes, and I'm actually looking forward to be gone next week because it's going to be cold here. We've got some days. The highs are only going to be in the 20. So I'm going to think about all of my friends and people that I work around, because I will be where it's going to be 80 in the day and 80 in the night, and they won't. And I'll feel sorry for them.
Well, that's great.
This long.
You just rub that in. And to all of our friends that are actually in Scottsdale at Mike Stramaglio's Executive Connection Summit, hello. Hope everyone's having a great time. And Ken, I don't know if you've been following on social, but man, the pictures look incredible, right? It is nice to see so many people together again. This is something that our industry has desperately needed for quite a few years now, and it's just really great to see that. So Mike, Gavin, Hero, everybody working on the show out there in Arizona, congratulations, and have a great time. Lots of great learning. And I miss some of those sessions too, right? They had a really good looking OEM panel, kind of talking about what's going on there. And those are always some of my absolute favorites, getting an inside look at what's, kind of going on in the heads of OEMs. Because everybody knows we have not been living in normal times. They've been interesting times, to say the least, right? So to be a fly on the wall there, look forward to catching up with everyone and seeing how that particular session, went. That's for sure, right?
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that because I've seen a couple of news pieces lately on LinkedIn about the fact that Canon's actually having to ship their OEM toner cartridges without chips in them. And they had to find a way to make the machines work because they couldn't get the chips to put in their toner cartridges.
Man, that chip thing just continues to rear its ugly head. It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. From our industry to the auto industry to the computing industry, everywhere. It's been really something to follow, right? And hey, for those that are tuned in today, for the ones that are not in Scottsdale enjoying the lovely weather, make sure you leave your questions and comments. We'd love to hear from you, see what's new, see what you're thinking about right now in these times. And as Ken always likes to ask,
where are you from? So, yeah, because it started because I'm not always sitting here at my office. A lot of times I could be on a ship. Next week I'll be where I can't be on board on the show. But a lot of times I'm doing the show from a ship or from an island or from another country. It's the marvels of modern technology. So let us know where you're watching from and put it in the chat, please.
Yes, and if you're from Lexington, Kentucky, a big shout out to you. I'm going to show my little mug here. One of the best places you could grab coffee and donut, North Lime Coffee and Donuts in Lexington. I discovered that place when I was actually down visiting some folks in Lexington at Lexmark, and somebody had let me know about the place, and man, I could not believe it. Leslie and I were driving around. They were actually closed for a coffee tasting, and so we went in and said, oh, when are you open again? And they said, well, not till tomorrow. We said, we're from Canada, we're leaving tomorrow. And they said, just a minute. And they went back in and they said, yeah, it's a private group, but they say, come on in. So that was our first introduction. It was a private coffee tasting, and it was just phenomenal. So Facebook user, Abu, great to see you. And Abu Dhabi, I wonder who that is. We can't actually see the name. And for those that are on Facebook logged in, if you want to leave your name, great. On LinkedIn, we can see that, but we can't from looking at it that way. So welcome from Abu Dhabi, man. I wish I was there right now.
You were talking about coffee, so I have to share this. When I was not last week, but week before last, I was in Costa Rica, and so I brought back some coffee from Costa Rica. I haven't had a chance to try it. I just went to the supermarket. Oh, hi, Dinesh. You're always here. It's good to see you. And so I just went to the supermarket and I got some coffee that was like in the mid range of the prices, and was looking forward to that. It could be floor sweepings. It could be really great Costa Rican coffee. I haven't tried it yet.
Well, I guess you'll find out, and wish
Yeah.
I was there to have a cup with you. Hey, listen, Ken and I today are actually going to take you through some of the new things that are happening in the flat rate world. And I'm just going to bring up a banner here because I don't want to assume, Ken. It's funny. Still, the number of people that I talk to that the first time we have a conversation with them, even though I've known many of them for years, are like, what is this flat rate certified thing anyway, right? And so I'm just going to try and share my screen here for a second, Ken, see if we can see that. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So all of your questions can be answered. And what you're looking at here is flatrate.world. And what we've done is actually created a page really for end users to understand sort of why they would think about going with a dealer that is flat rate certified, right? And so as you can see here, got to go down on my other screen, scroll. Flat rate certified logo is given to managed print providers who demonstrate the ability to deliver print services in a fixed and fully budgetable flat rate. They must exhibit deep expertise in the sales, marketing, and ongoing management of a true flat rate offering. And I think it's important to state here, Ken, because I know we did have some confusion actually with an OEM and saying, well, what is their flat rate program? How are they selling it? And we don't. Ken and I help dealers to actually develop their own flat rate programs. So in some ways that for some dealers, that's a device-based program. For others, it's based on users and user management. And Ken knows that I love working with the user management one simply because there's such a huge margin opportunity within those. And sometimes a combination of the two. And actually some folks that can actually do flat rate certified that aren't even selling the toner of the devices, that are simply managing the print streams. And as we move into a remote everything world, Ken, obviously that's becoming more popular with folks as well, especially in the managed IT side. So the Academy, one of the things that we do is we test and certify and train, and we'll talk about what those options look like today to help dealers to get to a flat rate program. Some of the benefits, obviously, the primary ones that we'll go through. And what's this one, Ken? Why would people hate counting?
No more counting. And it's one of those things, and I encourage dealers, go ask your customers how they feel, if they would like a program where they don't have to worry about overages and meter reads. And I think you're going to find it. And we had a good example. We had a live case study on one of our broadcasts where a dealer was in a client's office. He'd closed a deal on a cost per copy basis. And he said, oh, by the way, I have a program where you don't have to worry about meters. It's a little more, but you don't have to worry about meters. No more counting, no more overages, just a flat rate every month. And the customer said, sign me up. It didn't even ask him how much more it was. He just said, sign me up.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. It was a premium.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I love that. And, counting, it's funny, Ken, like we've been doing it for so long. And certainly it has been good to us in the managed print space to be able to do that. But the world has moved on, right? So when you think of how people are buying things in the subscription economy, if it's software, if it's entertainment, anything, that they're going with a flat rate. In other words, they're letting the business metrics and the tools available to help make you those decisions come up with a flat rate that is amicable both for the dealer and for the end user, right? So it's an exciting time for those that are looking to, obviously, help their managed print programs.
Okay, let me just, I want to jump on that for just a second more.
Sure.
One of the things, and I mentioned it last week, but I did an interview with somebody that worked with, co-authored a book with the guy that built Trader Joe's, and we're talking about branding. And one of the advantages in branding, in this case, Trader Joe's sold flour that probably came from the same mill that the stores did, but Trader Joe's charged more, but they could because it was Trader Joe's. It's kind of like Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You pay more for Dunkin' if you go to the store than you would for Foldage a lot of times. But when you create a program like this, you can brand it whatever you want. It's not that you have to say it's the flat rate program, but it could be Joe's Copier's Advantage program.
Sure.
And now what happens is nobody else in town can sell Joe's Advantage copier program because that's yours. And so you now no longer have competition. We go to Seth Godin and the Purple Cow, which is our favorite story.
Yeah. Well, and the Purple Cow is just doing that one thing that's just different enough to grab the customer's attention. Doesn't necessarily take a lot more work. And I love the Trader Joe example because they also sold in smaller packaging, right? So when most people were selling, 5 or 10 pound bags of flour, they're selling smaller containers of it
Yeah.
for people with a different lifestyle, right? They found a niche. And certainly as we have more people that are working remotely, that's not going to go away. We don't know what the mix is going to look like, what that hybrid world is going to look like, but it's not going away. And counting for each individual location is simply not going to make sense anymore. So I really do like that example. The second one is alignment, and this is probably far more important as a competitive advantage than most people realize, Ken. And maybe you can talk to that a little bit, because even those of us that, I've worked for a lot of companies selling managed print under a cost per page program. Why is alignment typically broken in that model?
Well, because if we're doing a true good job of managed print, we're going to help the customer reduce the number of pages they print. And if we're in a selling clicks environment, we don't want them to reduce the number of pages, because that kills our revenue and kills our margin. Whereas we get into a true flat rate type program, when we help them reduce their page output, we actually save them money and increase our margin. Life gets better for both of us rather than one getting better, one worse.
Yeah, I love it. And it's one of those things that you've kind of perfected a model once you get to that alignment, right? When you're doing the right thing for the customer, that it's actually the right thing for the organization as well. And that's one thing I do love about this. And certainly if people are looking at user management platforms to help them with that, they can, drive that even further, right? And I'll say one thing that I love about that too, Ken, is the added security element, right? That once they start locking down devices with PIN code access or HID cards, at the multifunction level, that they're not just getting more control over how they're printing. And like you said, in this new model, that it's actually beneficial for everybody for those volumes to go down, right? That they're getting some additional security as well. And how cool is that?
Yeah, and that is so important as the world becomes more litigious. How'd you like that $5 word? But sorry, you didn't mean to catch you drinking. But as the world gets more litigious, sometimes it's vital to be able to know who printed a document. If, for example, if you have a sales rep leave and all of a sudden somebody's hitting all of your customers, you can be pretty sure that the sales rep might have printed out your customer list and sold it off. So if you can prove they printed it, you now have a way to go after and protect yourself. But it's also if a document that you had or information that you had about a client that was private winds up out in the public, you want to be able to know how that happened and be able to prove it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the other expression I really love is, I don't know if you've heard this one, Ken, but door locks on a car keep honest people honest, right? And in other words, just having that additional level of security through a flat rate program that's incorporating some of these user control measures, it's going to stop a lot of things from happening before you actually have to worry about even the forensic side of it, right? So, yeah.
Well, yeah, that could stop a lot of church bulletins and kids' homework and things winding up being printed on your dime.
Right? This one is good. And this is, really to the story that we talked about earlier, where they'd already won the cost per page deal, did the by the way sale on the flat rate and took the deal, right? And for the customer, it wasn't about less money because they paid a premium for it. It was about that predictable spend, right? And I don't know a single business, Ken, that doesn't want to have an easy budgetable amount that they can work into their numbers, both for doing their budget at the end of the year and also for doing forecasting for the year ahead, right? So giving customers that ability to understand what they're going to pay every month, solid gold, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
All right. So that's kind of what we have there. And what we also do is we encourage people that go through our program to use the flat rate certified logo. And traditionally, and this is where we'll switch things up a little bit here, Ken, today, is that we've worked with all of our clients on a mentorship basis. So it's not inexpensive. It is worth it. And certainly we love to get our hands into people's programs and help them to shorten the amount of time that it takes them to get to market, right? But certainly that's not for everyone. And Ken, I'm surprised the number of times that I speak with a dealer that says, yeah, we've got a few people inside. We're actually working on a flat rate offering right now, right? Where they are investing the resources, where they're trying to do some of those things for themselves, right? So what I'm going to do now, let's just come up here.
Well, I was gonna say one big piece of this, and it's the advantage of the mentorship is we can help you figure out what your plan is. One
Yeah.
of the challenges is a lot of dealers go out and they try dipping their toe in it and they get burned a little bit and they pull back and then they're afraid of it. And while I won't say that this is a program that's good for everybody in every situation, it is a program that is good in general. But one of the key factors is the actuarial process, and the fact that the more clients you have on it, the less any one client variation will hurt you. Whereas if you
Yep.
put one client on it and you set it up badly, and we try to help dealers avoid making that mistake to start with, is then, okay, now you're upside down in that deal. But if
Yep.
you have 100 clients out there, the odds are very good that you're going to be enough upside, even if you got one wrong, that the it's going to smooth out over the whole group.
Yeah, and it's like anything else that when you're trying to develop a certain amount of expertise, it's good to lean on people that have done this already, that have worked with other people that have done it, because a lot of the questions that you have or the mistakes you're going to make, we've already seen them. So when it comes time to actually developing your contract for a flat rate program that you're going to put in front of a customer, guess what? We've done a few of those. When it comes to helping your sales reps compensation plan to understand how to pay them, to motivate them, when they were traditionally used to, getting paid on, simple GP or margin on a hardware deal, right? Guess what? Ken and I have helped people to do that, right? We've seen these things in the field. We've put them in the field. We've been working on the flat rate program now, I think, Ken, for a couple of years now. And before that, I was working on flat rate programs with customers for probably 8 years. So I've
Yep.
made some mistakes along the way. I've seen some things along the way myself, and we've certainly moved through those things, right? And that's one thing I love about it with the mentorship is the ability to take someone through it. And as I said, like anything else, when you're developing a high skill set, if you look at anyone that is a great, if they're a hockey player, if they are a musician, if they are an actor, if they are somebody selling flat rate, they all have people that they work with. And I would guarantee that a bunch of folks watching this right now have business coaches, right? People that are helping them to do certain things, even though you're running a $50 to $200 million organization or a $5 million organization, whatever it is, that that it helps to work with people to get that out of your own head. And that's one of the things that we can do with mentorship. But certainly it's not the only way. Go ahead, Ken, I'll let you go.
I would say, and the nice thing is because of your sales background and my service background, we're in a position that we can walk through all of the things that this will touch in your dealership and help you to be able to find the best possible solutions so that you can make as much money as possible and still provide good pricing and great service to your customers. The challenge we have in the industry right now is this trend to lower prices and lower volumes.
Yep.
Is going to have to start to impact the quality of service you provide, because no copies at $0 doesn't leave you much to work with.
That's right. And Ken, I'm glad you mentioned that the reason Ken and I have teamed up is to make sure that we have both the front end on the sales side, as well as the back office and the service side, where Ken's expertise comes from. And it's really important because, one of the biggest misconceptions about flat rate is that it's going to be risky, or it's going to make dealers less money. It's going to make less margin. And that couldn't be further from the truth, right? So in the mentorship program, we make sure that you have all of the tools in place, the sales methodologies, everything, the service records to be able to do that, right? So
Exactly.
mentorship. So my favorite way to do it, but it's not the only way to do it, right? Because in 2022, you are going to see some self-guided modules. And Ken, I'm excited about this because you've been doing some work on it as well. Ken, because of his training background, has done a lot of online virtual work, training people on the service side. And we are now going to apply that to the flat rate program as well. And so certainly, Ken, maybe you can talk a little bit about, your training experience and how you've set up programs in the past and how this will look going into the future.
Well, so what we're going to develop out and we're working on it now for those that are interested, that want let's say a self-paced, less expensive way to do it, is we're going to build out video modules where you can go in and go through a module that deals with a specific aspect of it. You'll be able to go through that module. There'll be some homework, some questions, It's not going to be just one long monologue, but there'll be some things to work on. And then we will be available via email to do some, to answer questions and provide some help, and so that you're not completely without help, but it's kind of a do-it-yourself thing.
Absolutely. Now, I will say that there are certain times in my life for certain things that I've been more familiar with where self-guided has been great for me, right? And because we have all these modules, and I will say there's the downside to this, Ken, is that in the past we had the 10-day challenge, which we offered for free for folks. And that is going away because we are beefing up those modules in this self-guided training. And as Ken has mentioned, we've talked about it. We spent a lot of time as we were developing the program, making sure people could have access to that for free for those that started early on in the program. And those days are gone. So there will be a self-guided program. It will be much more affordable than mentorship. I won't say it's the best way to do it. I will say for those that are self-learners that maybe want to do it on more of a budget, that it is another way for them, to do that, right? So, Ken, you'll be happy about that. No more freebies for the 10-day challenge because that's officially disappearing.
Yeah, he was been cut severely into my vacation fund.
No longer. All right. And of course, there's a third way as well. So I have also spoken with dealers that I was shocked to learn that they've got a program. It's ready to launch. And in that case, we can do certified testing. So if you've got a program, you want to be able to carry the credentials that come with Flat Rate Certified. I'll put this back up on the screen. Then Ken and I are more than willing to walk you through a testing program and a validation program that meets the minimum standards for Flat Rate Certified. So you might have your own program. You may just wish to have some additional accreditation, and we can help you with that too. So I love it, Ken. 3 ways for people to start working with us in 2022. So that has me pretty excited.
Yeah, and I was going to say, for those that just want to be Flat Rate Certified, one of the things that we do is we'll review documents and the way you have your program set up. There may be things we see that you might have missed, and we will share that information with you. And if you want us to help you fix it, we'll help you fix it, but we will at least share that information with our clients so that they can make sure that when they roll out a program, it's going to really work for them and be very profitable for them. Because our concern in this whole thing is helping our dealers that we work with become as profitable and as best prepared for the future. Because anybody that looks out 5 years and looks at our industry is saying that things will be different. And so this is a step in being prepared for the future by doing this now.
Yeah, there's going to come a time, Ken, and it's happening a lot faster than most people realize. I was actually surprised. I did a dealer interview for another program that I do for Tiger Paw, and it was with a dealer, and he was adamant about it, saying that everything's going to be flat rate in the next, 15 to 18 months, right? Like new offerings and stuff. And this is someone who's got a very large dealership and someone who's been very successful in the marketplace. So this is not, something that is, well, maybe I'll do it. But I think really that the managed print model is forever going to change. And as we know, those that start early in the phase start to get the land share and the land grab, right?
Okay, so now I'm going to play on what you just said, because this is a really funny fact. Do you know why people that live in Oklahoma were called Sooners?
No.
Because they had a land rush in Oklahoma. And everybody rushed out and could stake their land. And there were some people that got there a lot sooner than others, and they got the best pieces of land. So it just became the Sooner State. And and so for those that want to stake their flag, let's say, in the best ground in the flat rate world, you want to be Sooners rather than Laters.
You betcha. And there is no sooner time better than today. Yeah. So reach out to us. You can either reach out to us on LinkedIn if that's where you're watching us. We've also got a flat rate at West McDonald Co. here. We can reach out to us and talk more about the programs in more detail. Ken and I will set up a call with you. We will take you through the options that we have, and we hope to hear from you soon and be able to help you on your flat rate journey. So, Ken, I know that next week you're not going to be here. I might do a solo show. We'll see, but where are you going to be next week?
Next week, I will be in the middle of a guided tour on Bonaire. I'm looking forward to that. It will be my first trip to Bonaire. There are some things there that are pretty unique. It's funny because we'll visit Aruba and then we go to Bonaire. And Aruba and Bonaire are very different islands. They're close but very different. So we're looking to see the the similarities, the differences, and see the beauty that's there.
Wow, that's fun. Yeah, I've been to Aruba, but I've never been to. I'm even ignorant to. What do you call it?
Bonaire.
Bonaire.
B-O-N, yeah, it's Bonaire. I think that's how you say it.
Huh. Well, I've got some research to do afterwards. So
yeah, it's just you got Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, kind of like all three are right in a row. I think Aruba is the biggest of them.
Who knows? Maybe I'll helipad in and visit you there.
Coal beans?
If it's in international waters, then they can't technically say I'm crossing borders, right? So
yeah,
yeah.
How good are you on the canoe?
Yeah, we'll find out. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Flat Road Live. And until next time, I'm West McDonald Kenneth Edmonds. Thank you so much, as always, for everything that you do. And remember, until next time, keep learning.
Yep. We'll see everybody.